And yeah, this is what we're working with. It's a really tall. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Seth the Lawn Surgeon, and I am on my way to get my baby back. Get my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Yes, indeed, the Timemaster is coming back home. And a lot of y'all didn't know it was gone, but yes, it was in the shop. I think I might have mentioned it once or twice or whatever. It's actually been in the shop since March. I tried to drop it off before the season started. It was a long story. I tried to drop it off before the season started because basically when I dropped it off, I thought in my mind I was planning on getting a second trailer, which I've decided not to do. I don't know if I talked about that in the video. I think I might have talked about it briefly in the last video, but I'll go into more detail about it in Tipsy Talk. But I had planned to have two setups. You know, my two setups was going to be BJ and Clay with the Gravely and the Timemaster, so they could at least have some type of walk behind to fit in the small places. And I was going to have the walk behind and the Troy Bilt, so I could have some type of rider in case I got to cut a big old field while I'm out. Anywho, you know, now we've condensed it down to just having one trailer and two vehicles. So if they need to go out, they'll take the Astra van, and if all of us and or me just need to go out, like today, I'll take the I'll take my truck. But what having the Timemaster back benefits us is that now we have, you know, a smaller smaller mower. While the 36-inch is a small mower, it's still, I still have some yards that it can't fit in, and I'm going to cut a yard today that I believe it won't be, my walk behind won't be able to fit in. So I'll be putting the Timemaster immediately to work. What I dropped it off at the shop was one, they told me that if I could pay $25 and they could tell me exactly what's wrong with it or whatever, and then that $25 will go towards repairs, right? So like I said, I dropped it off in March in anticipation of saying, like, you know, I think it might have been the beginning of March. They said, you know, by middle of March, they, you know, because they said it'll take 2 weeks for them to get to it. I don't know what kind of work they're doing in the middle of in the winter time. It was still cold at that point, but they can tell me what's wrong with it, whether it's just the belts have worn out or the actual transmission is worn out, which I figured it was the transmission, but I wanted a professional to tell me. I want to go in there and just tell them, hey, spend $100 on a new transmission and put it in, you know, and that wasn't a problem. So anyways, they called me back and they said, all right. Oh, another thing that broke was this cable. It's a cable to engage the blades. Of course, it's a plastic piece, and that had worn out. And so I needed them to change that, which I knew they would have. The way it's designed, they're gonna have to change the whole cable. So they called me back and said, okay, in order to change the belts and the cable, that's gonna be $180, right? So I said, okay. And then she said, also, it's leaking oil from the head gasket. And so I said, okay. And she said that would be $130. So together that was what, $310 or something like that. Just that stuff, right? $310. So I said, no, hold off on the head gasket. So I went and asked Romeo, and Romeo was like, oil leaking from the head gasket? He said, that's kind of strange. He said, oil shouldn't be leaking from the head gasket. He told me some other gasket that it should be leaking from, but he said, oil shouldn't even be coming from that area. And I said, yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. So anywho, I waited for about, you know, another week or two, got closer to April. And so then they called me back and told me, yeah, we got the belts put on, and it needs a new transmission. So I guess apparently they put the belts on and they realized it still wasn't working correctly and it needed a transmission. And so that's that's going to be another $100 and something. I don't know, $130, $150. So now the total's up to what? You know, that was 320. No, because I just got the thing changed. So now let's say it was 150 to get the new transmission. The total's up to 230, right? I mean 330, up to 330. So I said, well, the whole reason I was trying to get y'all to inspect it, and I paid that $25 in the first place, was so y'all can tell me whether it was the belts or the transmission, so I wouldn't have to get both changed and pay labor, separate labor for both of them, as if what I'm doing right now. So the lady was like, well, let me get the manager. And so the manager got on the phone. He said, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. And I said, yeah, you know, I'm not trying to make no big deal, but that's the whole reason why I got y'all to look at it first, instead of coming in there and just telling y'all, hey, change the transmission, you know what I mean? So he said, yeah, I understand. So what I do, you know, the total right now is like, oh, the total is 320 is what it was. He said the total is 320. I'll take some off, but I got to talk to the mechanic. This was like Friday or Thursday or Friday. He said I got to talk to the mechanic and see what the mechanic says, and you know, blah blah blah. But he's not back until Monday. I said, all right, cool. So so we got off the phone, but before we got off the phone, I told him, I said, well, I do want to get the transmission done. So I do want to get the transmission done, and so because I want it to be working properly. So once you talk to the mechanic, go ahead, you have my blessing, or you have my go ahead to go ahead and get the transmission done. And he said, okay, I got you, thanks. So he gets off the phone, right? That's at the beginning of April or so, or maybe it was like maybe second week of April or something like that. So I called him last week, which was the beginning of May, and or first or second week in May. Called him last week because I ain't heard nothing from him. I said, yeah, I'm calling to check on my mower, and I give him my name, and the lady says, hold on. So she comes back and she says, well, I got your paperwork. It's been sitting here in the box. It says it needs a new transmission. I said, well, what? I said, y'all haven't started on it yet? He said, oh no. I said, yeah, I talked to the manager. The manager said, y'all, I gave him the go ahead to get the transmission in. She said, oh, well, let me call you back. So I guess she went and she talked to the manager again. And so the manager didn't even come back this time. He just sent her back. He said, all right, well, my manager said, you know, we'll do all the work, including the head gasket, for $270, and that's with tax. So I said, including the head gasket? They said, yeah. So basically, I was expecting to pay $280, you know, if they had knocked some off, $280, $290. But now I end up getting, you know, both of my belts changed, drive and blade belt. I ended up getting the cable change that I needed to engage the blades, and I got a new transmission, and I got a head gasket change, which I'm assuming it's gonna stop the leaking or whatever. Either way, I essentially, in my mind, I got the head gasket changed for free. So even if that doesn't stop the oil leak, which I never saw this oil leak before I dropped it off. The thing started up fine, ran fine. I didn't have any problems with the motor, and I never saw no leak. But hey, if they want to change it for free, that's fine, you know what I mean? And so I know a lot of people talk about the Timemaster. And hold on, I'm about to go through a toll, but I'll talk about that in a second. Alright, so yeah, a lot of people, they talk about the Timemaster, you know, and what I tell them, they ask me, Seth, you know, because I got a lot of Timemaster videos. They said, Seth, should I get it, the Timemaster, for my business, right? And I always tell them, it depends on how you will be using it for your business, right? Because what you have to realize is that residential mowers are designed to be used like residential mowers. Like, you know, if you had it for your house and you were cutting your house, even if you had like an acre of land, you would be cutting that acre of land at least once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. And so that's all that mower would get, right? But if you're using it in a commercial capacity, especially as your like main mower, now, like, you know, we use commercial mowers like 20 times a week, or, you know, at least 10 to 20 times a week, you know, on a smaller business. I know other people got bigger businesses, but, and with that being said, now that mower that's a commercial, I mean a residential mower, is being used as a commercial mower. And see, that's what I was doing with it, right? When I had it, I wasn't using it as much as my Troy Bilt. Some of the yards, I would cut the whole yard with my Troy Bilt, but I would say at least half of them, I would use the Timemaster for the front, because one, it made really nice stripes. You get what I'm saying? And two, it cut clean, you know what I mean? And so I was using that for to cut like half of my yards, the front yards. So I was using it a lot, at least like 10 times a week, you know what I mean? So I wore it out. And so right now at this stage in my business, I have other commercial mowers. I have, you know, the zero turn, and I have the walk behind, where the Timemaster will fit in my business is smaller yards. I still have some yards where I can't get in. I had a yard that somebody asked me to give them a quote, and I couldn't cut it because if I had my Timemaster, I might cut it because I couldn't fit into their gate. So, and then also I got a yard that I'm coming to today, so hopefully if I got enough battery life, I'll film that has a small back gate. And so I'm gonna use the Timemaster to test it out on that back gate, I mean backyard, a whole yard probably. And so then I have another yard that I started cutting that I can't even get to the front yard, but the front yard is literally like has 2 spaces, probably 10 by 5, and so we just weed eat it right now, but I could use that Timemaster to cut it. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna be using it. I'm not even gonna be using it regularly. And then I might I have a couple yards where it has ditches in it that we weed eat the ditches, because I'm gonna use it for that, you know what I mean? Use it for like hills and small stuff like that. So yeah, so that's why I'm gonna use it. So I'm not even gonna be using it all the time, but it'll be good to have it on my trailer. So like I said, my battery's dying, so I'm gonna save. I have another battery, I think it's half full. I'm gonna save that, hopefully get y'all some footage. Yes sir. And yeah, this is what we're working with. It's really tall, but I'm gonna give my Timemaster a go. Oh, there she is. Got her back. Running like a champ. Need some new blades on it. I really wish I could fit I'll probably cut this outside with my zero turn. I really wish I could fit my Timemaster through that fence. Oh well. There you go. Not too shabby. Like I said, I just wanted to give it some action. I think my walk behind can fit through there, so hopefully it can. And I'll go ahead and finish the rest up. But see, that's what it looks like going over one time, and that's 2 times. But as you can see, the blades are dull. But like I said, it's been sitting in my shed ever since I got my walk behind. So haven't sharpened the blade since then, which was July, August, or something like that. Yep, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up. There you go. Not too shabby. One thing I don't do, I know as y'all see, I didn't really edge, and it's cut kind of high. One thing I do with first time cuts, I've learned this, you might get to feel this way after you've cut for a while, but my thing is, you know, for people who get to let the grass get really, really tall, then they want you to get it down to like 3 or 3.5 inches, and it's like 2 feet tall. My thing is, if you really, really like your yard cut at 3 and 3.5 inches, you want to let it get 2 feet tall in the first place. Now you expect me to come ruin my equipment trying to get it that low, cutting all those clippings and stuff, you know what I mean? I cut this at 4 inches, which I think is really reasonable. And if he wants to get it lower next time I come, okay, but now it's at a reasonable height, you know what I mean? Also, I think it's 4.5 inches, either way. Also, the reason I don't edge is the same thing. If you really like the edge, because there's a lot of work to start an edge, first of all. 2, when you got like a foot of grass hanging off onto the sidewalk, no. I'm not gonna kill my weed eaters. Maybe if I had my Shindaiwa, but even so, I'll have to charge extra for starting that edge. You know what I mean? So I give customers a nice, reasonable starting cut price, and with a little extra for the height. And then as we go on, if you want to do extra stuff, starting the edge, getting the cut lower, then, you know, we can work into that. But that's how I do things. But I'm about to get to these other yards. Like I said, man, I forgot my freaking because BJ and them was using my van, and so not only did I forget my regular gas can, I forgot my 2-cycle gas can in the van, and I forgot my backpack blower. But luckily, you know, all my mowers just take regular gas, so I can stop at the gas station and fill them up. And then as far as my weed eaters, I have my chainsaw in there, which is full of gas. So if I need gas, I could just pour it out of my weed eater into one of my Echoes. So that's not a big a deal. And Poland saves the day again. I had the Poland in my truck. So people say the Poland don't come in handy, but it does. But thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. Let's get back on the road. Stay tuned. Yes, sir.